here's Brody Brazil.
In terms of the details of Major League Baseball's brand new national media rights packages, there's not a lot of surprises. We've had some conversation and speculation, which led to education and a really good understanding of how exactly this might shape up. Well, now it's here. It's official. It's been announced by Major League Baseball that Netflix is in. NBC is in after a very long time. And ESPN, which was looking very much out of Major League Baseball, is back in for 2026, 2027, and 2028. All of these partners have signed on for 3-year deals, which leads us to some instant evaluations and conclusions. Is this a good deal for baseball? A bad deal for baseball? Somewhere in between? And what does it all lead to when everything expires after 2028? What is baseball really setting itself up for here with these brand new short-term deals? Before we discuss the new deals and the new details, let's get into what doesn't change. I also think that's important too, to spell out things that are not going anywhere and are going to be the exact same. Beginning with Fox, they pay Major League Baseball by far the largest sum of money, and their deal is huge, and it doesn't change. They still get the World Series. They get DS and CS playoff game and series coverage. They get the All-Star Game. They get the 2026 World Baseball Classic, and they get select regular season baseball games. It's a lot. Again, they pay a lot. I'll have all the financial details for you of all these different entities in just a second. Turner Broadcasting, they stay with Major League Baseball. TBS airs those DS and CS playoff games. They also get Tuesday night regular season exclusivity on the national level. Apple TV, I for one had heard and thought that they were getting out of their deal with Major League Baseball. Turns out they're keeping the same deal. They're getting Friday night doubleheaders throughout the regular season. I, for one, really do enjoy their production, their presentation. It looks and feels just a little bit different, and man, it looks good, produced and largely delivered in 4K. So Apple TV is not changing in the Friday night landscape. And then, of course, Major League Baseball Network, owned and operated by the league. They'll show live games and studio-based shows throughout the regular season and beyond. So all of that staying the same. Now let's get to what's new, network by network, and we'll begin with NBC, who actually, I believe, televised the very first MLB game on television way back when in New York, in whatever decade that was. But they're getting this 3-year deal. They're getting it on the brand new 3-year deal. It's their first Major League Baseball coverage since the year 2000. Not the first time, just the first time in a long time. And they are taking over 25 different Sunday night baseball weekends. They'll have exclusivity on Sunday nights. And if you step back and think about it for NBC, this is actually huge. It completes their trilogy. Look what they're doing here. Sunday Night Football, that's very much an established property of theirs with the NFL. Then they've just recently added Sunday Night Basketball with the NBA, I think the start of a new 11-year deal with the National Basketball Association. And now they've got baseball on Sunday nights for at least the next 3 years. They are carving out their space on Sunday nights. Gotta be honest, I like that commonality. I like that tradition. I like that landscape of, hey, it's Sunday night. We're going to have big sports matchups on NBC. I think that's a really good deal and a big deal for Major League Baseball to be incorporated and included in a Sunday night scheme with football and basketball and now baseball. And you think about it, they'll have something on TV on Sunday nights year round. NBC and their Peacock streaming product is also getting the Sunday leadoff game slots. Those are the early Sunday morning games, like even early East Coast and really early West Coast, that start ahead of pretty much everybody else in the rest of the league. So it's kind of that little really early Sunday window slot that I think Roku Network was televising last year, and I think maybe NBC might have had it even previously to that on Peacock, I want to say. So Peacock is getting this back, and it's a good slot. It's a unique slot. It's early. I think you really have to remind people that the game on Sunday is going to be on super early, but it's a unique slot, and I do believe between the early Sunday game and the later Sunday games, they're going to have some bridge programming in between. So might be good for baseball. Maybe they bring back a little This Week in Baseball. That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world at all. They're also going to get the Wild Card Series. They're also going to get special events like Opening Day and Labor Day. Not the very first day of baseball. Like there's opening night now that Netflix is getting. More on that in just a second. NBC is also getting, weirdly enough, only the first hour of Major League Baseball's 2026 player draft. Now, the rest of it's going to be seen on MLB Network, but how many teams are going to get the chance to make their choice within the first hour? We won't really see, I don't think, a complete first round in just 60 minutes of time with all the buildup and presentation. And can all 30 teams make their choice within 60 minutes? It doesn't seem logical. So I'm not exactly sure why they went that route, but NBC is taking maybe the most exciting part of the draft and televising that. So that's what NBC is getting for about $200 million. Again, details on all the financials still to come. Netflix is now joining in with Major League Baseball to televise an exclusive single game, a live game opening night. And this year in 2026, so this upcoming season, it's going to be the Giants and Yankees on opening night, which is ahead of opening day. So what they're doing here is taking traditional opening day, and they're putting one game the night before traditional opening day. Opening night now happens before opening day. And opening night is exclusive on Netflix and exclusive for the next 3 years. And this upcoming year, it's going to be the Giants and Yankees. Netflix is also getting live coverage of the Home Run Derby, which is going to take place with All-Star Weekend in Philadelphia this year. They also get one special event game, which this summer is going to be the Field of Dreams game in Dyersville, Iowa, between the Phillies and Twins. Man, the Phillies are getting a lot of fun stuff this summer. Netflix is also getting the opportunity to televise all 47 World Baseball Classic games in Japan only, not here in the United States. We know Fox is televising those here stateside, but in Japan, Netflix gets to be the official WBC television network. They're also going to provide continued documentary presence and special shows, and it kind of makes you feel like, yeah, this really is just the start of something between Netflix and Major League Baseball. So not really a deep package in terms of quantity of content, but some pretty big name things. Again, the very first baseball game of the season, the Home Run Derby, and the Field of Dreams game, certainly going to be a spectacle. So kind of a slow entry for Netflix into Major League Baseball, into live sports, but just like they do with the NFL, they televise the Christmas Day games, 2 Christmas Day games. They're trying to do these special events for streaming only on Netflix. Here's what's new with ESPN. So you might recall, for a lot of years, since 1990, ESPN was the famous broadcast home of Sunday Night Baseball. Well, now NBC is getting that. ESPN backed out of that deal. It was their choice to have the option in the contract. They opted out for the final 3 years, which left baseball searching for a new partner. They went and dealt with NBC. ESPN, it looked like they were definitely going to be out of the fold. Remember when Commissioner Rob Manfred was talking about ESPN saying, well, they don't even really cover us as much as football or basketball. Maybe it's a good thing that we're parting ways. We don't really want to, but we have to. And now they're back. They're back in the mix, but in a very different way. ESPN, okay, again, this all looked like it was done and over in February of 2025, but ESPN over the summer months struck a new deal with Major League Baseball. They are getting the rights to MLB.TV for all the out-of-town games, right? Like they're going to run MLB.TV, run it and profit from it. They're also going to get the rights to all of the in-market games for San Diego, Cleveland, Seattle, Minnesota, Arizona, and the Colorado Rockies. Those are all teams that lost their traditional broadcast partners. And so Major League Baseball took over their broadcast operations. And now ESPN is buying the rights to all the out-of-town games, but also all of the in-market games in those 6 cities. Now, does that list grow longer in the next couple of years? And if so, does ESPN automatically get those teams? You would have to think so, but that remains to be seen. I mean, if you're a San Diego baseball fan, I think right now you have to assume that the network you'll be watching Padres games on this upcoming season is probably going to be called ESPN Padres, or in Cleveland, ESPN Guardians, ESPN Mariners, ESPN Twins, ESPN D-backs, ESPN Rockies. Like they're buying into the infrastructure of this, but also the branding of this, the presence of this. It's a bold move by ESPN. Again, the national famed broadcaster jumping into the regional and local kind of business here, as some of the other networks are just falling by the wayside. They're not able to continue, so ESPN is jumping in on this opportunity. And for now, All of these products are still apparently going to be available through Major League Baseball, as they've always been, through your cable provider and satellite provider like they've always been. But the thought is that they could eventually move, right? Because ESPN has their new platform, they've got their new app, and if they want to draw all of these teams into one place, their place, they've got the rights for the next couple years to do so. And all of this is kind of a tryout for what Major League Baseball might be hoping for in, let's say, 2029, to put all the teams in one place under one umbrella. But would baseball sell the rights to one entity to do all that versus doing it all themselves? This is a nice trial run to let ESPN try this for 3 years with 6 teams instead of baseball having to take all 30 teams on at one point, even if they could all agree and kind of have to do this wholesale all at once. Oh, by the way, ESPN also retains 30 exclusive weeknight regular season games. That's not a lot, like 1-2 a week, depending on when they schedule them. It's a very small fraction of what they used to have, but it's the exact same price. ESPN is paying the same amount, right? So NBC is paying $200 million for the Sunday night deal that ESPN used to pay $550 for. Baseball's getting less for Sunday nights. Baseball's also giving up more and having ESPN pay for it. I will break all of that down in the takeaways in just a second. But here's the financial breakdown for Major League Baseball, what they're getting from each network. Again, ESPN, more on the regional side with MLB.TV, NBC for the Sunday night deal, Netflix for the specialty games, like literally opening night, home run derby, and the Field of Dreams game. 3 things plus a little bit more worth $50 million. That's a lot for 3 things and no playoff baseball. Apple getting Friday nights for $85 million, the doubleheader. It's a lot of quality content on Friday nights. Fox at $729 million. But again, World Series, playoff games, World Baseball Classic, the All-Star Game. That's a lot of ratings right there. And Turner coming in at $470 million. I think that was from an extension that they signed a handful of years ago. It's a lot, but again, they also get playoff games. So the old television national packages, they were worth about $1.75 billion, let's say last year, approximately. And by the way, this number for NBC, that's a maximum number. Reportedly, Andrew Marchand of The Athletic is saying that that number is a maximum number. It's dependent on ratings. So the ratings for NBC on Sunday nights, they have to be good. Otherwise, NBC won't pay as much. So we don't know the exact final number. Let's call it $2.1 billion. So Major League Baseball is going to bring in more television money on the national side in 2026. However, as I get to my takeaways here, they're getting more revenue, but they also had to give up more. Because what about all the money that they would make off of MLB.TV? They don't make that anymore. They sold the rights to that to ESPN. ESPN owns it, runs it, operates it, collects all the revenue for it. So it was something that is kind of off the books here. Like, we don't know exactly how much baseball was making off MLB.TV, but they had never given it to anybody else. Now it's an asset that they finally set free. So yes, baseball is getting more, but they had to give up one of their biggest and boldest properties to get more. What else can they give up to get more money down the road? This was a pretty big thing to offer up to get that money back. The local rights to ESPN thing, like I said before, is definitely a test of the umbrella format. What if we could put all 30 teams together on one streaming platform or service? And if ESPN does it, or somebody else does it, or Major League Baseball does it, what does it look like to have 6 teams done by one network in one place on one app? Is that possible for Major League Baseball in the future? It's a tryout for the next couple of years. I do think for baseball, being on Netflix and being on Peacock to some certain extent are the wave of the future. I think Netflix probably needs to pick up some more games and regular season stuff and become more of a product. I get it. They're doing this specialty thing, right? Like, again, just like the NFL, they're doing the Christmas Day games for football. They're doing the home run derby, the very first baseball game of the season. I get what they're trying to do and how they're making their mark, but I think eventually it'd be nice to see them get into the quantity format as well, too. The only big companies, it feels like right now, media-wise, that are not involved with baseball, I mean, look at the list of who's in with baseball. Like CBS and Amazon kind of feel like the only 2 national rights holders and broadcasters that don't have a baseball deal. Good for baseball to diversify, to have that many partners you're working with right now, because ultimately, how does all of this end after 2028? That's my big question here. Like, what are you setting yourself up for? When you do a national media rights deal, aren't you typically looking for 7 years, 9 years, 11 years? Aren't you looking for stability? Aren't you looking for when the waves go up and down, like you're positioned well and it only trends up and it puts you in a really good spot and time for the next deal to expire so that you've got time to work it out? Major League Baseball just did this 3-year little bridge deal. It's a short deal. You don't have a ton of time to figure out, did this work? How's this working? And what's next? 2029 is going to be here right around the corner. And what if there is a lockout for some portion or all of the 2027 season? So you're wiping out these deals. Now all these networks have to recover with other programming. Like, a lot of the financials get all screwed up here. And then what's the recovery period like? If baseball ratings aren't what they should be, if baseball is in a worse spot than it should be, how does a new deal look for 2029 if baseball is kind of limping out of maybe recovering from a lockout in 2028? It's all kind of really rough timing for Major League Baseball. This bridge deal to figure out what's next. I'm not saying there's any great timing, but I am saying if these were 5-year deals, 7-year deals with ESPN, NBC, and Netflix, maybe they would make more sense, or they would at least get you through a difficult and uncertain time. Instead, all of this is going to line up to be pretty volatile right after there's either a new CBA or there was a work stoppage or there wasn't a work stoppage. But either way, not a lot of time to figure out, did all of this work and how is this going to go? I guess in the short term, baseball doesn't have to worry too much about its money side. Like, they took care of getting the money where it wanted to be and where it needed to be. They had to give up more to do it. Again, they don't have a long period here of just 3 years to figure out where they need to be in 2029 and beyond. Let me know what you think about these new media deals. Do you like them? Do you care? Does this matter to you? Do you want things more simplified? Do you want baseball just in more of one place? Is that it for most fans? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, thumbs up since you found this video. That helps me, the video, and the channel. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I would love to see you back here next time.